Hi, ABQ Moms. My name is Vanessa. I'm one of the owners at ABQ Mom, and today I have Jody Hart joining me. She's a school counselor at Manzano Day School. So thank you for being here, Jody.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so today we are discussing some back to school jitters that some kids experience as they head back to school. And I know some of us have already headed back to school, but when does Manzano Day School begin? When is your first day of school?
So we have ringing of the bell August 16th, and the first day of classes is August 17th.
So lots of your students are still prepping over there, and teachers, I guess, too. But for some of our parents, maybe who are feeling like are concerned about their kids, how can parents help soothe those back to school jitters in their own children?
I think it starts by really listening to their child, like what kind of fears they might have, what kind of thoughts they might have, and so being really empathetic to that. And I think being really organized with how you address that with the kids. It's almost like the fear of the unknown. And so the more we can talk about it, the more we can listen and ask, have them ask questions. I think it's going to subside some of that. Um, and based on their age range too, I also like to be organized with a calendar. And so the visuals are really good because we have a lot of students who are visual learners too. And so if your child is old enough and they can read the calendar, they can have one of their own, and so they can go to it and see what's next. If they're smaller, they can have pictures. And so it's like, here's what we're going to do. And so I think that prep is really important too.
That's really good. I have one kid who really hates surprises, and so yes, that would be really helpful for her. So, are there particular strategies that we can give to kids, like once they're out, they're at school, they're out of, they're not under our care during the day, to cope maybe with some anxiety they might be feeling?
Yeah, and that's part of that. Let's prep our kids. Let's have that conversation. Today you have this many sleeps until the first day of school,
Mm,
and we're going to get up at this time. Routines are really important. Kiddos need a lot of sleep. And so being consistent with that too. If there's a lack of sleep, our moods can change. And so helping them, okay, this is how many sleeps we have until we're going to go to school. um, I'm going to drive you, or whoever's going to drive. That's really important too. You're going to ride the bus, whatever that situation is. I think really talking to the kids about, so that they know exactly what's going to happen. Um, Meeting teachers is always a really good thing. If they can go in and see their classroom, that takes a lot of that fear away too, because they can picture then, oh, this is where I'm going and this is what this looks like. And I remember my teacher. And a lot of the teachers are really good. I know at Manzano Day School, they're really good about meeting the parents, walking the parents through the routine too, because most teachers, when students get there, whether it's drop off or, um, when the bell rings, they have a routine. Put your
mm,
backpacks here. And so the teachers will help with that too. One of the really good things to remember, parents sometimes, we as parents want to kind of hug a little longer, kind of hover to make sure everything is okay.
guilty.
And that actually sends mixed messages.
Mhm.
Our kids look at us, they're trying to read us. Is it okay? Am I safe? Are my parents okay with what's happening? And so keeping that goodbye short, and it can start with, if I'm walking you into class, I'm going to give you one big hug and then I'm going to leave. So again, that's really being clear to that child about what's going to happen.
Okay, and that they're safe and you trust the environment that you put them in, right? That's really
Yeah.
good.
And those positive, like, affirmations that we can say to the kids, teachers are there to support you.
Yes.
Teachers are safe. They want to help you, but they can't read your mind. So asking for help is really important. And also, there are other kids around you that are going through exactly the same thing you're going through.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, those positive affirmations, that's big. I remember when my daughter was really tiny. I think I got this from a TV show, but I just told her over and over, mom is always coming back. Grown-ups always come back. We're always coming back to pick you up. For some reason, she thought we were going to leave her at school or something. But just her being able to say that to herself throughout the day was really helpful for her.
Yeah, and it is helpful to also let them know what's going to happen after school. Are they
Mm,
staying after school? Are they riding the bus? Who's picking them up?
all
So that
about
they kind of
preparation.
know that, yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's say there is a child who is really struggling with anxiety. At what point should parents really get extra help, like look for outside help if it seems to be getting extreme and all of these preparation types of things or mantras are just not working?
So at Manzano Day School, I'm fortunate enough to go into every single classroom. And so we do mindfulness with the kids. So even pre-K, I'm going in and we're talking about those breathing techniques. And so if a child is having a hard time transitioning, the teachers are really good about pulling me in or saying, hey, why don't you stop off and see Miss Hart? And so the parents and I can talk about certain strategies. I really like the mindfulness piece, the breathing piece. And most schools have social workers or counselors. And so if a parent is really feeling like this is really hard and something's not right, use your resources that are there at the school. Go in and talk to them. Don't wait until you're like, my life is turned upside down. My child is completely unhappy.
Mm,
Use those resources and they can give you strategies. Um, the breathing is really important too. That's something that kids can do. Learning how to breathe. I'll show you one really quickly because
oh,
it's specifically for anxiety. And I call it hang loose. And so it's your right hand with the hang loose sign, and you're going to put your thumb over your right nostril and you're going to breathe in for 4. And then you switch to your pinky on the other side and breathe out for 4. And I would do 3 to 5 rounds of that. And so that might be one of the first steps I would do with parents and the child if they're struggling with that, seeing how they, can handle that. But if a parent really sees that, I mean, think about school, right? There are so many different transitions,
for sure.
um, changes in the routines, meeting new people. That, you know, that creates anxiety in itself. And so if a child is still really not wanting to go to school, it's a battle every morning, crying all day long, and you just know as a parent something's not right.
Yeah.
Then definitely reach out to the school counselor, the school social worker. You can reach out to your pediatrician. But again, I feel like don't wait until it's really intense.
That's great advice. That's so good. So this question is coming from a mom whose kindergartner had to tell her, Mom, it's okay that you leave now. So just so you know who you're talking to. But I am about to drop him off at college, and I'm doing okay, sort of. But do you have any advice for parents who are dealing with their own jitters about leaving their children? Maybe their kids are fine, but they're not fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Me as a parent too, it was like, are they going to make friends? Are they going to be okay? We all have that. It's really normal and natural for us as parents to kind of even grieve what's happening. Our babies, how did they get to this point? I'm leaving them now. And so it's being curious about your feelings, not being critical about your feelings.
Good.
That's the cognitive behavioral approach that I like to do, CBT, is thinking about your thinking. And so changing that instead of being really critical about yourself, like, what's wrong with me, being curious about it, trying to say, well, I'm really happy and excited for their experience.
Mhm.
The other thing is if you're this is your oldest and you're sending your oldest to school and you're coming home, or maybe it's even their only child. So run some errands maybe the first couple of days. Keep yourself busy. And if you do come home and it's quiet, put on something. Like put on a Disney movie that you can hear in the background just to kind of help soothe you and get your routines going. I remember one time I was dropping my kids off, and it was always the Kid Bop CDs playing. And I'm like, oh, I cannot wait until I can have my own music. So we drive up, I get them out, say our goodbyes. I drive off, sitting at a light, and I'm singing. And I pause and realize I'm singing to Kid Bop.
I love Kid Bop.
So, I mean, I think you just do things that help keep you going, keep your mind off of it. And then, at the end of the day, doing those check-ins with your kids, using those open-ended kind of questions, not just the yes or no's, but what funny thing did your teacher say today? Or what funny thing happened today? What was your favorite subject? What was your hardest subject? So that you're really trying to pull out more information from them. And I like the windshield time. If you're doing the drop-offs, pickups, you're in the car. That's a great opportunity to have those conversations and those check-ins. A lot of times the kids are behind us, and so you're not face to face with them, and it's easier to have those conversations sometimes. Or making dinner together. When you're doing activities, I find it's easier to have those conversations, and kids open up easier when they're focused on something else and you're just kind of having that easygoing kind of conversation.
Absolutely. Well, this was really helpful. Thank you so much, Jody. And I just want to remind our ABQ Mom audience, if you have any questions for a school counselor, Jody is available. You can comment in the chats, in the chat below, and we'll be monitoring those, and we'll make sure that those get answered for you. So, yeah, we definitely would welcome any questions or comments about this particular topic. But thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate all those helpful tips. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, ABQ Moms. Thanks for joining us.